What's up, everyone, and welcome to the next session of the Toy Room Renovation right here on YouTube. I'm your host, Albert Albanese. So in case you haven't noticed, I don't know what this is even called. The thumbnail has a different name than the name on the actual video, and whatever I say here is probably different. Look, at the end of the day, I think you guys all know we're taking the tour of the toy room, and we're talking about how I'm fixing it all up and making some changes. All right, so for this week, again, not a lot to update from the last time, but I do have a bunch of little updates. I figured out some ways that I want to do certain things. I figured out ways of how I want to display certain things. I've kind of come up with a little bit of a concept and an idea of what I want to do with a certain shelf that I have open, and I've completely changed an idea on a set of shelves that I had that I want to do a little something different with, and I have to figure out exactly how I'm going to do it. But we'll get into that in a little bit. This was a very small week in terms of purchases. I really didn't get a lot, but we'll kind of just take a look to see the one thing that I did get. And I'm waiting for, I have a big ringside order on its way. I have a couple other things that are pre-ordered that I'm ready to, to get in. So I'm waiting for some stuff. So 1 week is going to be a pretty big week, and that's why these have been a little bit small. But without further ado, let's get into my purchases. So, in terms of purchases this week, it was actually a pretty slow week. So I went to Target this week, and there was a sale. I'm not really big into buying basics, but I did see this basic Cedric Alexander, and I was like, you know what? Let me pick it up, because it's got the Hurt Business logos on it. Got his little emblem on it. Face scan is really good. It looks pretty badass, and they were on sale. It was, I think, like $6 or $7. I was like, I can't pass this up. So I kind of picked it up. I do have a collection of like basics and other figures. So a weird thing about my collection is that even though I don't technically have a Fig Fed anymore, I still have a figure of every WWE superstar completely separate from my collection. They're actually at my apartment, which is where I'm at right now. And I think it's more for me about the idea of keeping that collection alive, because that's the way that I collected when I was a kid. I didn't collect back in the day to display. I collected to play with them. So I always kept a Fig Fed active, even though I stopped playing with them. So I'm going to add this into that group. And my other purchase this week came to me via Amazon. It is this Edge Series 102 rated R superstar right here in his Judgment Day kind of look. And it says here on the back, the Massive Manipulator led the Judgment Day to a victory over AJ Styles, Finn Balor, and Liv Morgan at Hell in a Cell 2022. So it's his gear right here, which I think is pretty cool. Let's see. I'm going to open this up. Obviously, I'm going to put it with my display. All right, so after taking this jacket off, which, by the way, is really super cool. It's a great ring jacket and everything like that. A little bit difficult to take off. But we've gotten to the gear underneath, and this is, obviously this is Judgment Day gear. Really sick figure. Really, really nice. The detailing on the pants, on the boots are really sick. The obviously has all of Edge's tattoos here. And the face scan with the haircut. There we go, into focus. Even the graying in the beard. I mean, just a great job on this figure. The one thing that I will say is that I really like this figure and I really like the gear. The thing about these entrance jackets is that you don't get to pose them, because as you can see, these are hard rubber. So you can't move the arms in this once the jacket's on. So now I have to figure out if I'm going to display it like this or with the jacket on. So once I get it back to my parents' house and get it into my collection with everything, I'll make that decision. But that's the one thing I don't like about these big rubbery entrance jackets. All right, so in terms of updates, one of the other things that I wanted to kind of point out was that I've been talking about how I've been wanting to redo some of these shelves. Actually, the shelf right here behind me, this one that I'm talking about, I'm taking down a lot of these figures up here and in this section eventually. And I'm going to replace them with my Hall of Champions collection. On the bottom shelf, let's switch this around. So here we go. This is the bottom shelf. This is so, as of right now, every person who's held the WWE Universal Championship all the way on the right-hand side. And then on the left, I think that I showed you guys this last week, that I'm starting to build the World Heavyweight Championship collection. So as you can see, I actually pulled the Edge that I had on my Major Wrestling Figure podcast shelf. That's the Edge head one, and I put that in there. There's a new Edge coming out, and I'm going to get that too. Kind of swap them back in. But on the left-hand side, that's the World Heavyweight Championship shelf. So the idea that I have right now is that if I have, so here are some of the other guys that I have that have all been former world champions. If I have one of those specific figures that can fit into a collection, but they've held, let's just say, for example, boom, Roman Reigns. Obviously, this is the incarnation of him as when he won the Universal Championship. Remember, he was still that borderline big dog character before he became the head of the table. So now what I think is that I'll have one Roman with the Universal Heavyweight Championship, one with the World Heavyweight Championship. So I have one Roman with the Universal Championship. Then I'll have another Roman that'll represent his current run as WWE Champion on with the rest of the WWE shelf. So as you can see, there are some empty spaces because I'm actually missing here on the left-hand side some guys that are former World Heavyweight Champions. Dolph Ziggler, The Big Show, Undertaker, Batista, and Daniel Bryan all eventually have to go in with these guys. As you can see, there's some spaces there. Even like where Del Rio is, I'm going to kind of probably fix that up, maybe turn Mark Henry in a little bit so I can fit some more guys on that bottom shelf and try to get them in there. Once I have that, I'll come up to the second shelf, and then I'll have all the World Heavyweight Champions probably in the back. And then I'll start with the WWE Champions up on this shelf and start coming down with it. So we'll see how everything works out. Hopefully I have enough room. I did start from the bottom, but there's a chance that this changes. If there's enough room in these two shelves to fit everybody, fantastic. I'll figure out what to do down here. Or I'll kind of spread them out a little bit and fill them in as I need, because let's face it, we're never going to not have more world champions. And now that there is the World Heavyweight Championship that has just been won by this man right here, Seth freaking Rollins in the back, that's another one that I might have to put a secondary Rollins on this shelf because I would have to represent the World Heavyweight Championship win. All right, so another update is I actually put together this shelf. So this is kind of like a post-Ruthless Aggression kind of a thing. I don't even know what the name of it, the era was at this point, but you can see we have like Crime Time, Billy and Chuck, Cody, Kofi Kingston, Goldust, Old School Drew McIntyre. There's a Billy Kidman, CM Punk in the Bret Hart gear, Matt Hardy with the ECW title, MVP, Christian. It's a cool shelf of, that kind of an era. I might continue that either, up here on this shelf or down below, but this is what I have from there right now. But obviously I'm missing all the major heavy hitters. There's got to be, Triple H's and, Kane's and Undertakers and Cena's, that were, prevalent during this era. I'm even considering moving the debut John Cena to this shelf and put some other stuff up here. But I thought this was a kind of a good, little shelf, and I didn't want to put too many guys on here because this shelf has been giving me trouble, and I didn't want to, weigh it down too much. So I think this is pretty cool. I'll add a couple more to it, and then I'll work on the one up above it. All right, so that's the episode for this week. As you can see, I got some stuff done. I'm in the process of trying to get all the other things done, but I think that the more that I do, the better it's going to come out, and the more that I get to show you. It looks like my apartment's going to be renovated soon. When that happens, I'm actually going to be at my parents' house a little bit more, which is where my collection is. So I might actually either update more or have a little bit more in-depth episodes coming up in the next couple of weeks. But we'll see how that works out. For now, I'm going to keep trying to plug away and try to figure out what I'm going to do with everything and figure out where everything's going to go. And you'll find out the next time everything that I've done. Thank you guys for tuning in. As you can see, I'm sweating like crazy up here because it's 100 degrees in this room. So I'm going to go downstairs and relax for a little bit. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next week.